Hi,
Hi.
Ally and Sophia. It's so nice to
Hi.
meet you.
So nice to meet you.
Sophia, starting with you, what's the most challenging part of playing Samantha's journey from living drunk to living sober?
The most challenging part for me was just sort of finding the tone episode to episode. I think, we're dealing with a really serious subject matter and we want to be respectful of that. It's also a half-hour comedy. And we want to make people laugh and feel like they can access this story and these characters. So it was just kind of like a constant check-in with my castmates and our directors that came in. Does this feel honest? Does this feel grounded? And just always trying to play the truth of the moment and sort of not go too far in either direction, I guess.
And Ally, Carol is navigating two significant things in her life. One is in her personal life, she's just kind of getting out of grieving and moving into the dating world, which is difficult in middle age. And she's doing this while supporting her daughter at a time she needs her the most. Can you talk a little bit about how she handles this period in her life?
I'd like to say she handles it well, but she doesn't. She's, you know what? It's a lot, right? So yes. So my husband died and I've had 2 years of dealing with that. And now I have my house, I'm getting myself set up and everything. And then this disaster happens with Sam. And then she comes back in and our relationship is fraught. So the fun thing about playing Carol is I know rock bottom in myself as Ally and as Carol that Samantha is in fact the most important person in her life and this relationship is the most important. But all I do through the entire season is fight against that. I just fight against it because it's just too much of an undertow. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Is it difficult to play that as a mother yourself?
No.
Not at all.
Nope. That pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
Sophia, Samantha is navigating several relationships this season, from her relationship with her mom to her former best friend and maybe future best friend, Britt, and with her friend Felicia, who was her drinking buddy. What part of her journey and how do each relationship really affect this journey from who she was to who she's going to be?
I think, I think it's sort of overwhelming in that sense for her. She's historically handled most of these relationships by drinking through them and by avoiding the most challenging parts of them. It's hard to show up for people. And friendships don't just happen, especially lifelong friendships, which I have in my personal life that are deeply important to me. You have to work at them all the time. And Sam was not really in a place for a long time where she could show up for other people. So she's sort of desperate to suddenly do that. And of course, for all of those people, whether it's Britt or her mother, or even Felicia to a certain extent, for them, it's like, well, you don't just get to decide that you can do that now. So I think it's really interesting and truthful to somebody going through recovery, or really anyone going through kind of a dramatic change at that age, late 20s, sort of on the cusp of 30, how do you rebuild and reinvent relationships that seem to be kind of like decided and written in the sand for a long time.
Ally, what advice would you give to Carol?
Well, the advice to Carol is the kind of advice that I want to give to myself. Do you know what I mean? I feel Carol, there's not a big line here between me and Carol. I just do things a little differently, but she makes absolute sense to me. So advice for Carol, she doesn't take advice well. Probably a little bit of, being able to give Sofia and Sam, both of them together, give them some space. Do you know what I mean? But I actually, Ally, as a mom, find that really difficult to do. So You know
I'm
what I
sure all
mean?
moms do.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.